Shannon, is this a big deal or not a big deal?
No, it's not a big deal. Skip, I'm going to take him at his word, and that's what happens normally, guys. I would try to break my new shoes in on Friday for Friday's practice to get ready to wear them on Sunday. The last thing, NBA...
Okay, but what would be the worst thing that could happen? Maybe a blister would develop, right?
Yes. And probably he said he tried the Jordan 11s when he normally plays the Jordan 1s. He says, well, I'm going back to the original. I'm going back to the J1s. And that's all it is, Skip. Maybe the shoe is cut a little differently. Maybe it's a little higher, a little narrower, arch, maybe and so you rolled. Everybody can't wear the same type of shoe, although they make a shoe in that size that can possibly fit you. And so I'm not going to. The more concern is Tampa's defense. He needs to be worried about Devin White and Levante David and Shaq Barrett and Vita Vea. That's what he needs to be worried about. Carlton Davis, those guys on that side of the ball. I'm not concerned about Dak's ankle. I'm going to take him at his word. He says it's a new shoe, and he probably just rolled his ankle. I don't know if he rolled it on the drop back, Skip, or he planted, or he was trying to roll out or something like that. But I'm going to say the ankle's going to be okay between then when he did it and Sunday night when they played the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So for me, I think the bigger concern is how he's going to handle Tampa's defense. What type of defense are they? What about the Cowboys' defense against Tampa's offense? Chris Godwin says he's going to be a game-time decision, and the mere fact that he could possibly be a game-time decision lets you know just how far he's come, considering he tore his ACL in Week 16, if I'm not mistaken, Week 16 and Week 7. Well, 2 games left in the season. So for me, that's all I'm concerned about. I'm not really concerned about Dak's ankle. I think the ankle's going to be just fine, and I'm anxious to see the Cowboys' offense against that defense because CeeDee Lamb, you believe he's going to be heavily involved. He's going to get 150, 170 targets this year and going to catapult him into one of these upper echelon receivers. And I just don't know if that's possible. Well, it's possible, but what about the other guys? What about the Noah Browns, the Tolberts, and all those other guys? I think the tight ends is going to weigh heavily in this ball game, Schultz and Ferguson, and I think they need to because I'm not so sure how. Let's just hope his offensive line don't do to him what Matthew Stafford's offensive line did to him last night, and then you might be okay. But I think Tampa's going to be ready to play in this game, and I'm taking the Bucs for sure.
Okay. It is now my turn. It is a moment of reckoning for me. Obviously, I love me some TB12, but I love me some number 11 from heaven of the Dallas Cowboys a little more.
What? Whoa, time out. TV World, did you just hear what this man just said?
Yes.
This man been caping for Tom Brady for basically 17, 18 years. And in 2 short seasons, Michael Parsons has replaced Tom Brady in your heart?
Tom Brady will never replace the Dallas Cowboys in my heart when push comes to shove. But first, I must address this because you're going to call it an excuse. But I'm just going to spit facts at you. I am scared to death about what happened to Dak's ankle yesterday because I think it's a huge deal. I think it's a huge deal because they were compelled to make it a big deal after practice. And they were compelled to do so because he could not continue practicing. That's how bad it was. And he said it was a precaution. No, I don't think it was at all. So I want you to think about this. I want you to let this sink through your brain that just when I thought it was safe to love this team, this happened. And this is just 3 days before a game that I believe, as I told you yesterday, will be a preview of the NFC Championship game. Just 3 days before what I believe we will look back upon after the end of this season is completely concluded, which is 284 games from now. I believe we'll look back on this game as the marquee matchup of the entire year because it's Tom Brady at Dallas Cowboys. It's the GOAT versus America's team. And yet, all of a sudden, the quarterback of America's team on almost the eve of this titanic clash, something goes very wrong because he's saying he aggravated an injury that was career-threatening, that required 2 surgeries to fix in his ankle. And he says he aggravated it when Shannon, I haven't heard a peep about it since he came back last year. This was no issue all of last year. this is so serious because I thought it was completely healed and fixed. I thought it was a thing of the past.
Right.
And something went really wrong yesterday because, to your points, he actually played in Jordan 11s in every game last year. That's his game shoe of choice. He played for reasons I can't explain. He played in the Classic 1s throughout training camp, through the scrimmages. He obviously didn't play in any of the 3 preseason games, but all their scrimmages. Every practice this week, he'd played in 1s until yesterday. And to your point, okay, it's coming. It's time to break in your 11s. And he puts on the 11s, and somehow they, according to him, aggravate his ankle. I'm not buying it. I think it's a bunch of phony baloney. I think they're trying to pull wool over our eyes. I think he hurt his ankle in practice yesterday. I'm sorry. They're highly capable of trying to spin these things.
Of lying, yeah, they're capable of lying.
Highly capable. Highly.
Yeah.
Starting from the top, because that's how they play. That he would say, this is how you play the game.
Right.
All is fair in love and football, right? Okay. So the point is that he went on, it's like I paraphrased the old Shakespeare line, methinks he doth protest too much, because I watched the whole post-practice interview, and he was trying too hard to convince all the reporters, it's no big deal, nothing to see here, look the other way, and his final line was, he was asked if this quote-unquote minor setback, as he was calling it, will limit him on Sunday, and he said, not at all, it can't. Well, that means you're just trying to will it away, like it can't, this is the game of the year.
Right.
All right, now back to the game of last year, which was on opening night, last night, Thursday night at Tampa, Dallas at Tampa.
Before you go there, so do you believe that the shoes played a factor in it, or he just rolled his ankle?
I think he rolled his ankle. Okay. That's what I believe, and it's an easy out to say, well, and maybe it's, I don't know if I don't think he wears low cuts. By the way, I got, if you can see these, I'd already planned to wear these. Right. These are low cut.
No,
11s.
he plays in mids. He plays in mids.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you went low cut for whatever reason, you could roll it easier. But the point is, I'd already planned to wear these 11s, and now it's like a bad omen.
Yeah, they're not a whole lot of guys. I mean, Lamar Jackson, I think Lamar and Kyler might play in lows. But most of the quarterbacks play in mids.
Okay, well, I don't know if he was thinking of playing in low. I have no idea. But something went wrong, and it wasn't just like, I'm developing a blister because I got a new pair of 11s on, like might happen. Okay.
Right.
All right, so think about this. The best game Dak Prescott ever played in his life, to me, was last opening night, that Thursday down in Tampa. And I got the numbers right here. Dak Prescott was out of his mind hot. And remember, he had played nothing. He hadn't played a single snap in preseason. He went 42 of 58 for 403, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Brady was great. Brady actually had a slightly better QBR, as 87 to 85, but Brady didn't have Brady threw for 379 with 4 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Right. So it was very close. He played him to a draw. And if you look at the final numbers, Dallas just outplayed him across the board. Everything you look at, Dallas was 9 of 17 on third. And again, it's not 9 out of 10, but it's still 9 out of 17 of work against that defense, because that was the defending championship defense.
High 40s, anything 50% or better, you playing outstanding football.
So Dallas wound up with 451 yards to Tampa's 431. So I'm just saying they held their own. I called it a moral victory. You were laughing at me the next day, but they came out of it thinking, hey, we're okay. And guess what Dallas did? It's like Buffalo last night. Dallas actually won the turnover battle. It was 4-1. It was 4 turnovers to 1 for Dallas.
That's why the game was as close as it was.
Okay, all right, I got it. And time of possession, Dallas had the ball 34 minutes to Brady's 25 minutes. Okay. But all that matters is what happens when you get into the cash zone, the red zone. Dallas went 1 of 4, and Brady went 3 of 5. Okay, so that ended up being, but okay. All right, so here's what happened down the stretch of that game. Who have I told you is going to be the breakout star? Well, the star of that game last year in the end was Amari Cooper. But when the money got pushed to the middle of the table, the chips got pushed, Brady was in big trouble in this game. Jordan Lewis is saying, no flag? Okay, they let the GOAT be the GOAT. And it's a walk-off field goal. My point is, Gronk is not there this time. CD is still there. There's no Amari. CD is going to be featured the way he was in the final drive. And my point to you is, if Dak's ankle isn't,
Worse than what he said
debilitating,
it
yeah,
is.
I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I hope he can even go. I hope he can play. I think it's that serious that it's
Really?
a game time decision. Well, let's just see what happens. But the point is, you don't think they came away with huge confidence about we can play with these guys?
Yeah, of course.
Like maybe they just like the matchup
Well,
with these guys.
remember what Dak said? Dak said we're going to see y'all down the road.
He did. He told him that right after.
And neither one of them got down the road. Both of them had flat tires, and somebody else had to come pick them up.
All right. So that brings me to the final analysis here, the moment of truth and the moment of reckoning. I just believe that if Dak is okay, and I don't know if he's okay, and I'm not trying to make an excuse, but again, that's big asterisk.
Right.
But if he's okay, I believe that something's going to happen that didn't happen a year ago. Micah Parsons a year ago did have 7 tackles, but he had no sacks, and he had 1 hit on Brady. They got 2 hits on Brady.
Right.
Donovan Wilson had 1 on a safety blitz, and they had 0 sacks for the night.
Okay.
Brady has to go down 3 or 4 times.
Right.
I believe Micah's going to get him a couple of times and open pathways for others to get to him. So I need to see 4 sacks. If you can get him down 4 times, because he's got 2 new offensive linemen, a rookie and a guy who's never played center at center, that you're going to have a much better chance. I don't think the score will be quite as high, but I'm going to go 27-24 Dallas. I've had a feeling that they're going to launch a 12-5 season with this win. I also think Brady's going to go win the Super Bowl, but it's not going to start here.
Oh, well. So 27-24.
I do.
I've just got Brady. I believe, I agree with you. I do believe it's going to be a close game. And who do I trust in a close game? Do I trust Brady or do I trust Dak more? Well, I think it's a no-brainer.
Okay, well, that's a no-brainer, which is why I need CD to rise and shine. I need Zeke to give me about 80 yards rushing.
So, in other words, you don't want it to come down to the last drive if Brady gets the ball. You don't want Brady having the ball.
You can't do it again. And I don't think you can let the score go up into the 30s. I think you're going to lose a shootout.
Oh, you think the game need to be in the what, the low 20s?
No, I got 27-24. I just don't need those 35-32 kind of games.
Hold on, you got a $40 million quarterback. The other team got a $25 million quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he takes hometown discounts, unlike somebody I know who plays for a basketball team in Los Angeles.
Well, first of all, he ain't from that hometown. He's in his hometown in Cleveland. So he need to get that Cleveland money. Anyway, Dak.
Speaking of Cleveland, I think Cleveland's going to have a rough weekend.
Now, there you go. There you go.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.